Hi, I'm Greg from the Scary Spirits podcast. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Freddy Krueger cocktail, which is the featured cocktail in today's episode of the Scary Spirits podcast. So we're going to start with a shot glass. And then we're going to add some strawberry syrup. We're going to add some vodka. So, I'm going to mix that up. Delicious. On top of that, we're going to try to layer some melon liqueur or Midori. And then on top of that, we're going to layer a little bit of high proof alcohol. Then we light it. Oh, let there for a second. Anyway, Freddy Krueger shot. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So if you're ready, let's go.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hi, I'm Karen.
And welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. The podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? How are you, Karen?
Living the dream. How about you?
I'm okay. I believe today's movie was my choice. Was it? Was it not?
Yeah, we'll blame this one on you.
That's fine. I'm good with it. So the movie I've chosen is A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. So the original in the franchise. Karen, do you remember 1984?
I do remember 1984.
I do too.
It was a good year.
It was a good year. It was a very good year, as I remember it. You know, but the good old days will always be good, won't they?
For me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. You should look back with good thoughts.
I try to. At least back in 1984.
Right.
The 80s were good.
Yeah.
80s were
I
good.
mean, there's nothing wrong with the 80s.
No, not at all. So, Karen, would you like to know why I chose this film? We kind of covered it last episode, but...
Well, just in case we've got some new people starting here, why don't you remind them?
So this episode will go live on July 28th. Heather Langenkamp's birthday was July 17th, but we couldn't celebrate that because it was kind of in the middle of Shark Week. And then Wes Craven's birthday, who created the film, writer, director, I believe he directed it. His birthday is August 2nd. So shortly after this episode goes live will be the late Wes Craven's birthday.
It's a twofer.
Twofer. Karen, might you have a brief synopsis available?
Ooh, a synopsis. Aren't you fancy today?
Fancy.
I do. Would you like to hear it?
Absolutely.
The monstrous spirit of a slain child murderer seeks revenge by invading the dreams of teenagers whose parents were responsible for his untimely death.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this is not my kind of movie. I originally saw, when these started coming out, this genre, I saw Friday the 13th, the first original, and that was enough for me. I haven't seen any of these. Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, any.
This one isn't in the Friday the 13th realm, I don't think.
What do you mean? You think it's better or worse?
It's just different.
It's teenagers and gore.
Nah, I don't think it's that gory, honestly.
We'll get to that.
Okay. Do we have a cocktail? Did I create a cocktail or come up with a cocktail for this?
I think you internet searched a cocktail.
I did. The Freddy Krueger cocktail, which is a shot, correct?
It is a shot, yes.
And some of us make our shots bigger than others, apparently.
Mine's actually in a shot glass. What's yours in?
It's in a shot glass.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's
Look,
like an orange juice glass.
Compare it to a pint glass, and it's much smaller. Mine's
that's like a
sipping
morning
shot
juice.
Glass.
That is a morning juice glass.
Okay. It is large. I'll give you that. So, would you like to know what you need for the Freddy Krueger? I'm sure you do.
Of course.
So, we're going to need strawberry syrup, the kind of stuff you put on top of ice cream and things like that. Vodka, a melon liqueur like Midori, and a liquor that is highly flammable. So, you're going to need a high proof liquor.
Yeah, I didn't get why they needed to set it on fire until after I saw the movie.
Yeah, it's all part of it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cruel.
Yeah. So you pour the vodka and the strawberry syrup into about half of the shot glass, stir that up, and then you layer on top of that the melon liqueur. So your goal is to end up with a red layer and a green layer, much like our boy Freddy's sweater. And then on top of that, you layer just a little bit of the highly flammable alcohol, and then you light it.
And then do you let it burn till it burns off?
No, you blow it out and drink
Blow it out? Oh, I did not light mine on fire. I didn't have anything.
I tried. I even tested the liquor I had. I may try again later.
Was it successful on the YouTube video?
No.
Okay.
So that's why I may redo it and use a liquor that I know will catch on fire. So I tried it. I tried pouring several different liquors in a glass or a plate, just a little layer, and lighting them on fire. And the two of the three I tried did light, but I chose to go with the lower proof when actually making the drink for the YouTube video. So I may redo it.
Wait, so you chose the one that didn't light on fire to make it?
No. Two of the three.
And you chose the lower proof of the two that
lower. Yes,
that
correct.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding. Correct, Karen.
All right. Well, y'all go gather your ingredients.
All right, hold on. And we're back.
So since this is a shot and I'm not going to be sipping it, there's a point in the movie where I will stop talking to you and take the shot.
Okay, should we do it together?
Well, I don't know. It's a part that I think you need a shot before you go on, personally. But it could be a different point in the movie for you.
Oh, I think I know what you're thinking. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right.
I'm guessing you probably do.
I mean, I know your affection for Johnny Depp.
For young Johnny Depp.
Very young Johnny Depp.
I call him Johnny Depp through the whole movie.
I did too. For the most part, I did throw in a Glenn every now and then. So
I'll correct
I may,
you.
I may refer to him as Glenn. So if I do, please correct me.
Don't worry, I will.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, let's get into a nightmare.
Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. It was $2.99 on Amazon Prime Video. So I think that comes to $3.14 when they put in the tax. The movie opens and we see, I mean, if you don't know who Freddy Krueger is, then I don't know what to tell you, but it's Freddy Krueger making a glove.
I know it was hard because he does introduce himself later, but you don't know his name for half the movie.
Yep. So we open. Freddy is obviously making a glove with blades for fingers, and the credits are rolling the whole time, too. And it did. I did make a note that it says "and introducing Johnny Depp."
Oh, does it?
Yeah, in the credits, that's what it says. So they must have known he was going to be something, you know. Otherwise, I don't think they'd say "and introducing Johnny Depp," right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in that voice. And while the credits are rolling, we see who we learn later is Tina. Well, he calls her Tina throughout the credits too. You hear Freddy calling her name. Tina running through some industrial factory. And I made a note that at least it's given me something to watch while the credits roll. I appreciate that.
I thought you would like that.
I did. I like that. And I should say I have seen this a couple times probably, but there are lots of things I did not remember or I didn't catch. And you've never seen this, is that correct?
I've never seen it.
Okay. So my next note is nice silhouette of Tina against the fire.
Yeah, she's running into, it's like a boiler room or something. She's scared. Someone's calling her name, but did you see the sheep? What was the sheep? It runs across the hall. So I was just trying to figure out, it was so random. Is it supposed to show you it's a dream because there's this random sheep in there?
I thought at the time it was just a startle scare, but it kind of does make sense now that you say that, you know, kind of the whole counting sheep thing. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's
you
why
were
you're
too
here.
distracted because you were distracted by the white silhouette of the nightgown.
Of Tina.
Yes.
Who in the movie is 15 years old.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
Oh my. Oh my.
I know, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, we've talked about it before, but when you're watching Amazon Prime Video, there's a little X-ray thing where it kind of gives you trivia.
On some of the movies, yeah, not all of them.
Yeah. So it was on this one, and I looked at it quite a bit as I was watching.
Oh.
And it did say that in the film, Tina is 15, and that if this film were made today, she would have to be at
17?
least 16
or 17, yeah.
or 18.
Yeah, it's pretty explicit. We'll just say that.
So Freddy grabs Tina, and she wakes up.
Yeah, did you see the crucifix to her left immediately?
I did not. And her nightgown is cut, correct?
Yes, it's shredded in the pattern of the hand blades. Yeah.
Tina's mom comes in, I guess she was screaming in her dream or whatever, and tells her she needs to cut the nails or stop having those dreams.
I know. They establish her as a bad mom.
The parents
right
in this are pretty bad, I would say,
you know,
in general.
Because some loser guy kisses the mom and tells her to come back to the sack.
So next scene, we see Johnny Depp driving an old convertible Cadillac. He's taken himself and Heather Langenkamp and Tina to school, correct?
Yeah, and they're talking about dreams.
Do you know what kind of Cadillac that is, Karen?
No. Do you, Greg?
That is a 1958 Cadillac Series 62 convertible.
So would that be an expensive car for a bunch of teens to have?
Would you like to know what it is worth on today's market in good condition? Would you like to guess?
Oh,
so I can try to take a point away from you.
That's the only reason you do this. Okay, give me a hint. Is it worth a lot or a little? I'm going to say $42,000.
It is worth approximately $107,000 according to my research.
So how much was it back then? I'm just curious because it's a bunch of teens in a car. Is it an expensive
is.
car they're driving? Is it an unreasonably expensive car? Is it somebody's parents' car? It's not like your 1986 Mustang used.
Right. Although I did go to school with a girl who had a pink Cadillac similar to this, but I don't think hers was a convertible.
Who was that?
Well, we don't want to name names, do we?
You can. What's her first name?
Terry.
Okay.
So prices ranged from $4,600 to $7,200.
Wow, 7,200 then would have been a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a nice car for a bunch of teens to be hanging out in. Yeah, so all the teens are in the car and they're talking about dreams.
Yes. Then later that night at Tina's house, they all gather again. Apparently Tina's mom is out of town. Like I think she's in Vegas.
And they do introduce Rod right before that as a jerk.
That's true. When they get to school, Rod is introduced, who is Tina's ex-boyfriend.
Well, or they're fighting. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they're on again, off again.
But he's kind of a douche, I thought.
Well, yeah, they make him appear that way.
Johnny Depp has a mixtape.
Well, he has a sound effects tape.
Yes.
Which, especially around Halloween, those were kind of popular.
So apparently he's telling his mom or whoever that he's staying with a friend who happens to live near the airport. So he's playing a sound effects tape that has airport
It's his cousin.
Yeah.
He's at his cousin's. But what else does it have on there?
All kinds of sound effects.
So it's a
cars racing, cars crashing, girls screaming.
It's a little bit of comic relief.
It is. So anyway, they end up discussing their common dreams. Again, finishing, I guess, the discussion they had earlier in the 1958 Cadillac Series 62.
Yeah, Nancy admits she dreamed about the same creep Tina did as Johnny Depp brings the popcorn. And you do see a figure outside the window.
Is that a euphemism?
Johnny Depp always brings the popcorn. But I have a question.
Okay.
Why does Johnny Depp not have a mullet? This is 1984. He should have had a beautiful mullet.
No, because he was kind of the jock.
Jocks had mullets.
I know, but still.
Everyone had a mullet.
Well, according to my relatives that were just visiting from California, they're coming back in California anyway. They say they see him all the time now.
On men and women?
I think on like college age dudes, high school age dudes.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see.
They won't be as good as yours. You had one, didn't you?
I did. With a tail.
Awesome. Braided? Was it braided?
No, but it was curly because when my hair got long, it curled. So it was like a little pig's tail. Yeah, it was.
You were cool.
Yeah, I was very handsome.
Look out, ladies. Every time you walk in that front door of high school, you're welcome.
So they hear a sound out in the backyard, correct?
Yeah, because you saw someone. Did you see the person in the window?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
So Johnny Depp goes out there to investigate, and Rod comes out of the bushes and tackles Johnny Depp. And then he sexually assaults Tina, who is 15, more or less.
He takes her and decides that they're going to get back together. And
yeah, he decides they're going to get back together. It's kind of.
Yes. She kind of is resistant, but she gives in. And that's because that's how all these movies were. The girl says no. The boy says
he
yes.
He even puts his hand over her mouth and pulls her into the.
Yep.
And she begs the other people to stay so that she's not left alone with this dude, right?
Who looks about 25. But anyway, yeah, so it's like 2 a.m. and they're listening to Johnny and Nancy are listening to the sex sounds. And then everyone's fine because sex fixes everything.
Yep, no more arguments.
I think Rod admits he had the nightmare too. They all had it, right?
Yes, correct.
And Nancy grabs a crucifix.
Well, it falls off the wall.
Because of the sex?
I don't know. But it falls off the wall as she's sleeping. And then Freddy, who we learned is Freddy, starts pushing through the wall. You can see his face coming through, stretching the wall. He's not busting through. He's just stretching the wall. So then Tina decides to go outside in her shirt and underwear, right? I guess she's dreaming too. I don't remember why she went outside, but she decides to go outside in her
and she
shirt
does
and underwear.
the old, is someone there?
Yes. Yeah. And then we see Freddy in what looks to be like an alley.
Tina, somebody's calling her name.
Yeah. And apparently there's like a driveway alley kind of thing behind
Yeah,
the
it looks
house
like an alley.
where, the garage is and things like that. I had family in Michigan that had a house like that. There was an alley behind the street, and that's where everybody's garage was. So Freddy's arms stretch the whole width of the alley, I'm calling.
So he can run his fingernails on the wall? Is that why?
Yeah. And he chases Tina. As he gets close to Tina, he cuts off his own fingers.
Well, yeah. So she runs back to the house and he jumps behind it from a tree and he says, "Watch this." And he cuts off his own fingers and green liquid spurts out.
Right.
So, yeah, she tries to get in the house.
And she does get in the house and she wakes up Rod, right?
Well, she pulls off Freddy's face.
Yes.
That was weird. That was a kind of cool special effect kind of thing. She grabs his face and his first face slides off, but his second face is there. So.
Yeah.
And then, back to the bedroom and she's thrashing around.
And Rod wakes up and he kind of sees the whole thing happen. And her chest gets sliced open and she's thrown around the room and ends up on the ceiling.
Movies like this confuse me because I'm thinking, okay, now is Rod dreaming this now? I couldn't figure out if it was his dream now and this was happening. Or
no,
her
Rod was
dream.
Awake now.
Yes. Well, I figured that out when Tina started levitating and bleeding all over the place.
She gone.
Yeah. Nancy and Johnny get into the room and there's just blood everywhere.
Yes.
But it's a pretty cool effect. I mean, she kind of goes up the side of a wall and then onto the ceiling, and it's
one of those things where they have a room that spins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it's
so
interesting.
It looks like
camera
she's walking
work.
on the wall or climbing on the ceiling. And kind of like
it was
Lionel
creepy.
Richie.
Oh, really?
Remember Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling?
I remember the song.
That video? Yeah, it was the same kind of deal.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll admit.
So then we're in the police station. That's what I have next. And we learn that the police chief or whatever, John Saxon. I'm just going to call him John Saxon. But
You mean Nancy's dad?
Heather's dad. I'll call her Heather. But
I don't call her Heather. So.
I call her Nancy sometimes too. But
did you catch where they think Rod did it?
Yes.
And he says,
absolutely.
Well, no, but the one cop says,
because he bolted when Nancy and Johnny Depp went in there. The window was open and he was gone.
But the one cop says, he's a musician type.
Yes, he is. And he does carry a switchblade too, for some reason.
Well, he's a musician type. I don't know. I just thought that was a funny line.
So
he looks guilty. There's no question. Nobody was in there but him. So
I'll start calling her Nancy from now on. So Nancy tells them what happened.
And they also
tells her dad, who's the police chief or whatever, and her mom is there. Her shitty mom is there.
They establish the parents don't get along.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're like divorced.
You think?
I think so.
Yeah, he's never at the house.
No. So then the police
he's yelling.
Yeah, the police search for Rod. Next morning, Nancy is on her way back to school. Mom tries to talk her out of going, but she goes anyway. And Rod jumps out of the bushes and grabs her.
All right, but before that happens, there's this weird scene where she looks backwards. And did you see the guy?
Yeah, the guy.
Who's that?
He's a cop.
It's a plain clothes cop then.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't figure out who it was.
Yeah, so once Rod grabs her and then her dad comes and puts the gun on Rod, then Nancy says, "You used me as bait."
Yeah, and I thought...
So they were like trailing her, trying to find...
I see. That makes more sense. It was some random dude in regular clothes. And then when her dad pulls the gun, I thought, oh, was it her dad standing there? But when I rewound it and watched again, it wasn't.
No.
So I get it now. That makes sense.
Yep. So the police arrive and catch Rod. And they say, he's got a switchblade. So then Nancy's in school in what I assume is English class.
Yes, it appears to be English class.
Did you understand anything they were talking about?
Well, they're talking about Shakespeare.
Okay.
And yeah, and so Nancy's falling asleep.
Yep.
Because she sees Tina in a
Yeah.
bloody bag.
Correct.
But the guy who gets up and starts with the quote about dreams,
Yes.
they make a kid stand up and read some. He's reading from Hamlet. But anyway, Nancy follows the blood trail.
Yep. Down the hall, she sees Tina being dragged by an unseen force down the hall.
I wouldn't follow that. But I guess you can't really.
She's dreaming.
I know. You can't control your actions in your dreams, right?
Yeah. And then she meets the hall monitor. Tells her, where's your hall pass? And she's wearing a red and green sweater.
Yeah, that was clever.
And then she tells her, no running in the hallway. And then she has the Freddy glove on. And Nancy follows the blood as it runs downstairs of the school. And she ends up in the boiler room, it appeared to me. So anyway, once again, Freddy wants to harm himself. And he slices open his chest. Like maggots pop out and junk, right?
Green goo and maggots.
Yep. And then
He's
Nancy
definitely burned and has really bad teeth.
Yes.
So.
And then Nancy wakes herself up by burning her arm on one of the hot pipes in the boiler room.
Right. Because she runs away from him. Is she in the same place as Tina's dream? Is this the same boiler room?
At this point, I don't know. But later she is.
And why are there curtains there? There's curtains in there because he slices the curtains. But
Yeah.
But she runs to a dead end.
They're more like burlap curtains, though.
And so I'm guessing at this point from watching this movie that dragging his nails along things is his thing.
It's his thing.
Okay. And she shouts, it's only a dream. And he says, come to Freddy. And she cusses and he does gross stuff with his tongue.
Yes.
And then she wakes up because she burns her arm.
And I made a note that throughout that whole scene, there is very 80s synthesized pop music playing.
Interesting. I'm telling you, the 80s were it.
Well, the music sucks in this movie. The soundtrack is terrible, I think.
Well, you can't beat the AC/DC soundtrack,
No.
Maximum Overdrive. So,
And actually, in one of the X-ray things, it said that most of this music was just placement music put there temporarily originally until they got real music, but they never got real music.
they ran out of cash dollars.
I don't know. But apparently they did a special director's edition or some shit, and it's different. It's got
Interesting.
like real music in it, and it's got commentary from Robert Englund in it and stuff like that. So, and deleted scenes too, according to what the X-ray thing was saying.
That's cool.
Yep. So Nancy leaves school as she wakes up in English class screaming, and they tell her to go home. So she goes home.
She just walks out the door, though.
Yeah.
Your high school would have never just said, go home. They would have called your parents. You couldn't have just
guess.
walked out the front door.
I guess. I don't know. Her dad is the police chief or some shit.
Yeah.
And as she's leaving, she notices that her arm is actually burnt now.
On the wrong side.
I think it's the right one.
No, because she burns the outside of her arm when she put it up against the pipe. And then when she looks at
Did
it.
she?
I thought so. Maybe not.
I don't know. I didn't put that together. So then Nancy goes to the police station and visits Rod in jail.
Yeah. And he admits he had the nightmare too.
And he tells Nancy exactly what happened to Tina.
So here's the thing. And this is what confuses me about these things. So all of these kids had the same nightmare, right?
Yes.
Here's what I'm trying to figure out. How is Freddy in all these dreams at the same time? Because he's a singular person, for lack of a better term, right? So is he going from dream to dream to dream? Or are there four of him? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is he in Rod's dream separately?
He can be in multiple dreams at one time.
You think?
Yes, I think.
Because each kid wakes up and then he's in another one's dream. like he's not in their dream anymore, but he's in the other person's dream. Like Rod woke up and Tina,
Maybe.
I don't know. It just seemed like he could only be in. I'm overthinking it. Go on.
So then Nancy decides to take a bath.
Of course.
This is a pretty famous scene. Nancy in the bathtub, the gloved hand comes up between her legs
Because she falls asleep. Yeah.
because she falls asleep. And then she wakes up, her mom wakes her up, and then she falls asleep again. Then she is pulled under and nearly drowns. Right?
Yeah, but then she tells her mom she's fine. They don't communicate with their parents in this at all.
Well, her mom is always guzzling vodka. She's
Oh.
got bottles hidden all over the house, I think.
She does. She does. Not well, because Nancy sees her every time she pulls one out.
Right.
But Nancy takes some stay awake pills.
Yeah, some stay awake, fast acting with a very homemade looking label on it, I thought.
And she's trying to stay awake by watching scary movies.
And drinking coffee. So then in Nancy's bedroom, Johnny Depp climbs in through the window, up through the rose trellis, and
Who could be so lucky? Johnny Depp comes through your window.
yeah, he's right across the street.
Yeah.
You can see his bedroom from your bedroom. So Nancy decides to go looking for Freddy.
Yeah.
She tells Johnny Depp to stay awake and keep an eye on her, right?
He had one job.
Yes. He had one job.
And I mean,
And he failed.
It wasn't even that late. Kids that
And then
age,
later she gives him the same job.
it's midnight. You could stay up past midnight when you were 16 years old. Anyway, she goes to see Rod, right?
Well, she goes looking for Freddy.
Well, she goes to the police station.
Well, she ends up finding Freddy.
Yeah.
And she runs home and her feet get stuck in the stairs as she's going up the stairs.
The gooey stairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
And she says it's just
Johnny
a
Depp
dream.
is
It's not-
asleep.
yeah.
Yeah. Freddy attacks Nancy, and then the alarm clock goes off. And then they both wake up, or she wakes up and then she wakes him up.
He
And
destroys
then-
a feather pillow too.
Yes, Freddy does.
Yeah.
And then Nancy and Johnny Depp go to the police station to talk to Rod. And while they're talking to like the desk watchman or whatever, we see the sheets start wrapping around Rod's neck in his
Yeah,
cell.
they're taking forever. They say they just want to check on him. They're worried about him. And the guy's like, he's fine. And then her dad comes out and they can't find the key and and it's just this stalling as the sheets wrapping around him.
And at one point you can see the wire pulling the sheets too around his neck.
Oh, I didn't see that. But so he's no more.
They finally get in there and find him hanging from his sheets wrapped around his neck.
Did you hear his neck crack?
No.
No, I couldn't tell because they should have tried a little CPR on the dude. He wasn't up there very long.
Oh, they cut him down and then they check for a pulse and he gone.
But he's young. They could have tried.
Well, he's just a criminal anyway. He's
True.
a murderer.
They think he's a murderer.
So then we cut to the cemetery during Rod's funeral.
Why didn't Tina have a funeral?
Maybe she did. I assume she did.
But they didn't show it.
No.
Or maybe they're still investigating her murder. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe her body's still in the morgue. That's why she keeps showing up in a body bag. And John Saxon is smoking a Marlboro Light. I think he died of cancer too. I was going to look that up. Oh, he died of pneumonia. So no, not cancer, pneumonia. And then Nancy starts telling her mom and dad about Freddy. As
Yeah,
they're
and
getting
they-
back in the car, and they obviously know what
They
she's talking
exchange a
about.
look.
Yeah.
Something you can see a spark of recognition. But the mom's going to go get her some help.
Yeah. So she takes her to like some sleep study place or shit, right?
Right. They put 3 electrodes on her face.
And the actress playing the nurse in this scene is Mimi Craven.
Wife or daughter?
Don't know. I do not know. Maybe I should look that up.
They're monitoring her sleep, basically.
Yes. Oh, it's his wife. One of his wives.
One of his early wives.
Yes. Apparently.
Yeah, so they're monitoring her sleep, and the doctor says she's in deep sleep. She can start dreaming anytime. Then she goes into REM,
Yes.
and the doctor says the numbers are off the
Yeah,
charts.
it's never done this before. The very DOS looking screen.
Yes, it's the old timey And they wake her up.
They
Yeah.
wake her up, and then first they notice her arm is cut. She's got like slices on her arm. And then she pulls Freddy's hat out from underneath the covers.
Yeah, and her hair is gray.
And she has a streak of gray in her hair.
Which was weird. Like, I didn't get that, but.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder what happened. What was going on in her dream? Because this is one of the dreams we don't see, right?
True. But she did bring his hat back from her dream.
And then we go back to the house, and Mom is in the kitchen drinking vodka.
Talking on the phone about the hat.
Yeah, but she's got vodka.
Yeah, she's got some vodka, but she hangs up when Nancy comes in.
Yes.
Because I said she's hiding something. This was the first time we saw alcohol.
Yeah, it was.
For Nancy's mom, anyway.
And she's so Nancy's mom's talking to the phone to who I assume is John Saxon, dad, right? About the hat.
Or another person involved.
I'm assuming it's dad. Then they find the name Fred Krueger in the hat.
Yeah, but Mom says he can't come after you. He's dead.
He's dead. And I wrote, Nancy's mom is a dumbass. That's what I wrote.
She's not going to win Mom of the Year, that's for sure.
And she's a terrible actress too. So
I don't know. I mean, I didn't like her, and that's the whole point, right?
So then we cut to a scene of Nancy and Johnny Depp on a bridge, which is at Venice Beach, according to the trivia on the movie. In this film, they never say where it's happening. But later in the franchise, they say it's in Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lucky us.
Yeah. But in this film, there are palm trees and stuff. But, whatever.
Well, they're talking about dreaming. They say they aren't sleeping, and she's reading a survival book.
And Johnny Depp's eating a burger.
Yeah.
She has a book on booby traps and anti-personnel devices.
Everyone should have one.
Yeah. I reference mine frequently.
I'll remember that if I ever come over.
So then we cut back to Nancy's house. She goes home after meeting Johnny Depp and watching him eat a burger.
Yeah, the girls never get to eat in movies.
And I made a note, there's an AMC Pacer parked out in front of Nancy's house.
Nice.
And Nancy comes home to find that there are now bars on the windows of her house.
Yeah, Nancy's pissed. Because Johnny Depp can't come in her room anymore.
And the rose trestle is gone now too.
I'd be pissed. No more Johnny Depp.
So Nancy runs in the house and Mom is smoking a Marlboro Light and she seems drunk.
Yeah, she says it's for security.
Then Nancy's mom proceeds to tell her all about Fred Krueger.
Well, first she says, come into the cellar with me.
Yeah. And they go down to their
That's not creepy. Yeah.
Their boiler room.
That's not creepy at all.
She tells Nancy that Fred Krueger was a murderer and he got off on a technicality.
Killed 20 kids. 20 kids.
Yes.
How many kids were in your neighborhood? 20 kids is a lot of kids.
Well,
it says he was a child murderer, killed 20 kids in the neighborhood.
Right. Well, there were 20 kids on my street for sure. Just on my street alone.
But that's
not my age. A lot of them were younger.
But still, that's your entire street of kids.
Right. But it's a neighborhood. But, I times my street times the 5 or 6 that were in the neighborhood, behind us. You know what I mean? That's 100 kids, right? 120.
It's still a lot of kids.
Yeah. So she tells Nancy that, and I quote, a bunch of us parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got him and burned him up.
Yeah.
It burned his house or whatever, right?
No, they burned him in the boiler room.
Okay.
That's why all the dreams are in the boiler room. They let the building burn and they watched it.
She says, he's dead, honey, because Mommy killed him. That's my impression of Mom.
And Mom proves it. She has the glove.
He has the glove. She does.
So a bunch of parents got together. So when did this happen?
That's what I was wondering.
It can't be that long ago.
When Nancy was
little?
Very, very little. They were already parents, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
She's only like 15.
Right. So it had to be recent.
10 years ago? Maybe. 1974?
Could be.
I don't know.
It just seemed odd, but it was very recent that this happened.
Now we're getting to good stuff here.
Yeah, because Johnny's room.
Johnny Depp in his bedroom.
in a half shirt. Tell
Yeah,
me you wore a half shirt.
I have. I have.
Yes.
Do you remember what number he was wearing, Karen?
No, I just knew it was a football
Yeah.
one.
I think it's number 10.
Well, he is a 10.
Now I have to check it.
Nancy calls him and they look at each other.
He is number 10.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
They look at each other through the window.
Correct.
Yeah.
And here's some things. It's a few things I didn't notice until just watching it again today, as a matter of fact. There's a Jay Giles poster in Johnny Depp's room. And there's also a Rush poster in Johnny Depp's room. It's a Grace Under Pressure poster. You know when Grace Under Pressure was released, Karen?
I do not.
April 1984.
Ooh.
They were on top of it because this was released November of 84. So
they were like, what are the kids digging right now? And Jay Giles Band and Rush.
Yeah. So it must have been filmed in early 84, wouldn't you think?
Probably.
As you said, Nancy and Johnny talk to each other on the phone while they look at each other through the windows of their rooms. And Nancy comes up with a plan.
Well, first, she's 7 days without sleep.
Yeah.
She says. Now, I'm no sleep expert, but I do know.
And they are doing makeup so that their eyes are kind of dark around the.
But 7 days without sleep, it's like less than 72 hours without sleep. You're hallucinating. Have you ever?
Is that a fact, Dr. Karen?
Well, I don't know if it's a fact, but it's a common thing. Most people can't make much more than 36 hours without some sort of mental issue.
I have heard that.
Have you never pulled an all-nighter and stayed up?
I have. Yeah, not fun.
No, not at all.
And I worked third shift, so I mean, I did that almost weekly, to get back on schedule. You know what I mean? For years. But anyway, Nancy's going to try to pull Freddy out of her dream and pull him back into like reality, right?
They have a plan.
And she wants Johnny Depp to be there to knock him over the head with a baseball bat or something. That's his one job. Again, stay awake.
Whatever you do,
keep an eye on her.
Don't fall asleep.
That's right.
So what happens?
I don't know. We'll find out. So then Nancy's mom comes into her room and takes all the coffee away. But Nancy has another coffee maker hidden in her nightstand.
And
plugged in and everything. It's ready to go.
And she's still taking the stay awake pills.
Yep. And drinking coffee.
You know what this girl needs? This girl needs some Jolt Cola. Do you remember Jolt Cola?
Yeah, I never drank it. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, I did. All the sugar and twice the caffeine.
Or maybe she needs some 5-hour energy.
They didn't have that.
They
had Jolt Cola.
I know.
I liked it. Everybody else is drinking Diet Coke. I'm slamming Jolt Colas.
They had no-dos.
Well, they had stay awake pills. Yeah, they did have no-dos. You're right. I never did that, but Jolt Cola did it for me so I could stay up.
I was more into trying to go to sleep than stay up personally. So that's what I was taking stuff for.
To study. It was to study, to pull the all-nighter.
Oh, study?
Yeah, that's what you did it for.
Oh, is that what studying is?
Well, it is when you're a little behind.
All right, so then we see Johnny Depp's parents standing on their porch watching Nancy. Kind of creepy.
Well, yeah, they think she's losing it.
Dad thinks she's a lunatic. Doesn't want his boy Johnny associating with her anymore.
Yeah, Nancy's getting ready for their midnight rendezvous, and Mom grabs a bottle from the linen closet.
Yes. So Nancy calls Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's mom answers. Dad takes the phone and hangs up on Nancy and leaves the phone off the hook. You remember those days, Karen?
Yeah, when you had to call and talk to the parents. Oh, the worst.
No, when you can leave the phone off the hook.
Oh, I thought you meant that you had to talk to the parents when you called for your boyfriend or girlfriend. Yeah.
Nope, just leave the phone off the hook.
Yeah, or unplug it.
Which Nancy receives a call after that, and it sounds like fingers on a chalkboard or some shit, right?
Well, yeah, she rips the phone out of the wall.
But then the phone rings while it's unplugged.
So is she dreaming? That's what I can't tell. I can't.
And then I made a note that there's a police poster in Nancy's room. That's the first time I've noticed that too. You know, the band, The Police.
Oh. But when she's holding the phone, when it rings,
yep.
He
Freddy's
says,
tongue comes out.
and says, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy."
Yeah.
And she stomps on the phone
And then
and
she
runs
runs
down.
out
Yeah.
and tries to run out of the house, but drunk mom's got it locked with the keys.
Because she's trying to get to Johnny Depp.
She's got deadbolts.
She knows that Johnny's fallen asleep.
Yeah. But mom won't give Nancy the key.
Mom can't do much. She's
drunk. She just says, it's locked. It's locked. I don't even have the key. And then we cut back to Johnny Depp in his room, Karen.
Yeah, and what's on the TV? Do you remember when this used to happen?
No, I don't
So
remember what's on the TV.
They start to play the national anthem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Because it's midnight, the Star Spangled Banner. And then after that finishes.
Well, they didn't. Well, yeah.
It's
At this
going
point
on.
in the movie, it's midnight, but they didn't always play at midnight. It was end of broadcast.
End of
day,
broadcasting.
which
And
may have
then
been 2 a.m., whatever.
Depending
Yeah.
on what day. Yeah. But I think weekdays ended earlier.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I just remember, staying up and watching.
it would be the
Hi.
flag.
This is Don Kirshner. Don Kirshner's rock concert. Today we've got a group my daughter really loves. Please welcome Supertramp.
Yay.
It's my Don Kirshner impersonation. Then after that, there would
Well,
be
wait,
some
there's
stupid movie, and then it would go off air or something.
yeah, national anthem. And then what would come on when off air, we used to call the ant races. Because it'd be like, and then it was just black and white little dots going around.
Yep.
Oh, I think it's time for my shot.
It's time for your shot.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it with
You
you.
ready?
Yep.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, it's kind of like fluoride. That's what that tastes like. Oh, does it burn? I told you that was too big of a shot.
Yeah, smooth.
His eyes are watering. Hang on, people. He's recovering.
Yep. Thank God for the mute button.
Interesting shot. Tastes a little like fluoride. I think it's the strawberry.
Yeah, me too. So then what happens to Johnny, Karen?
He's pulled into the bed and then blood sprays out. Way too much blood. Like 20 Johnnies are pulled into there or something.
Yeah, it's a blood fountain.
It is.
And we covered this very early in the podcast about how many liters or gallons of blood is in the human body. You remember?
Was it 6? What was it?
I think it was.
This is like 6,000. It's just, It's like Niagara Falls or something in reverse.
Yes.
And when the EMS and police arrive, the guy says,
Well, first,
Oh.
mom finds,
Uh-oh.
mom opens the door. And it just looks like a fucking massacre.
Yeah,
There's blood everywhere.
And stringy stuff. It's unfortunate. Johnny met an unfortunate end.
Yeah, he had a good death for his first feature film.
Yeah, he's pretty long in
Even
there,
though,
but
you didn't see anything. He just got pulled into a mattress and then just blood. Don't know if it's his blood or anything. It's just, don't know exactly what happens to him.
it's not pretty though.
No.
Because the guy says, you don't need a stretcher up there. You need a mop.
You need a mop, yeah.
Yeah.
So then Nancy calls her dad on Johnny Depp's phone. Well, she calls over to the house.
Oh, over to the house.
Yeah,
Yes.
because of course Dad doesn't have a cell phone because
And blood's
we didn't
leaking
have
through the
those.
ceiling to the next floor. Like the blood's coming through the ceiling. It's just.
lots of blood. Nancy tells her dad that she's going to go get Fred Krueger from her dream and bring him back. Pretty much the same thing she told Johnny Depp.
Dad doesn't quite get it. He's like,
Yeah.
honey, you need sleep. Go to sleep. But Nancy's MacGyvering. She's building all kinds of traps and stuff.
Yeah, she tells her dad to be ready in 20 minutes.
But he's not understanding at all.
No. So then Nancy starts building traps, like you said. She puts gunpowder in a light bulb.
Because she just happened to have some
Shotgun
gun
shells.
shells. As you do.
As you do. Well, don't you? I do.
I do not.
And there's a tripwire involved and a sledgehammer.
I told you she's MacGyvering.
Yeah, she's got
Or
the book.
she's
got instructions.
Kevin. She's being Kevin in Home Alone. She's setting all kinds of crazy traps.
Yeah. So then Nancy and her mom have a moment, I wrote.
Yep, they exchange I love yous.
Yes. And Nancy says a prayer and goes to sleep. She says the Metallica
She
prayer.
set the alarm. Yes, she does say the Metallica prayer, and she sets the alarm.
So she falls asleep. And in her sleep, she goes down to the basement to get the glove. Right, her mom had shown her earlier, correct?
Yeah, and the glove's gone.
And Nancy descends deeper and deeper and deeper into her never-ending basement.
It's true.
But it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
It's possible.
She keeps going down some circle stairs, down some straight stairs. It's down a ladder. She's really getting to the depths. She calls for Krueger.
Yeah, and she finds Johnny Depp's headphones.
Bloody headphones.
Bloody headphones. And then this scene, we see the same furnace where Tina was so beautifully silhouetted earlier, correct? This is the same industrial space that Tina was in at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
For sure, this time.
And I did notice when he's chasing her, he is missing his hat.
I didn't even make a note of that.
So you can't regenerate the hat in the dream. That's
good.
why I'm wondering, is he one person and can only be in one dream at a time? Or would he have his hat if he was in another person's dream?
Don't know. Good question. If anyone out there has any comments, email us, scaryspiritspodcast@gmail.com.
Help me out. He basically jumps on her and they struggle.
Yep, they fight and they end up back in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Correct?
Well, the alarm goes off and she wakes up.
And she pulls him into reality, right?
Well, she doesn't see him at first and she says, I'm crazy after all. And then what?
And then he pops up.
Yeah. She hits him with a coffee pot.
Yeah. And then she runs out of her room and locks him in and ties some string or shit to the doorknob, and it's connected to the sledgehammer, right?
Yeah, she should have made that hit his head, not his stomach.
Yeah, so Freddy eventually opens the door, and when he does, sledgehammer comes down and hits him in the gut. And he goes running after Nancy, and he hits the tripwire, and then the light bulb explodes. And then she pours alcohol on him. Is that what she does? Is it alcohol? Or is it gasoline? I don't know what it was.
I don't know. I can't tell.
I assumed it was alcohol since Mom's got bottles stashed everywhere.
Right. Me too.
And catches him on fire. So he's on fire. He's burning, and Nancy's yelling for her dad. But of course, she can't get out because she's locked in, and there's bars on the window. And finally,
I guess I should tell the inspector.
Yeah, the cops over there. Hey, maybe I should tell her dad. And so Dad finally runs back over. House is on fire. They break down the door. There's flames going up the stairs.
Well, she leads him to the cellar.
Yeah,
Nancy,
she leads him to the cellar.
But Freddy's not there.
He's not there. Then they come back up, and there's flames like footprints, flaming footprints going upstairs.
That was pretty cool. I thought that was kind of neat. Very creative to see the footprints going up the stairs.
And Nancy says, Freddy's attacking Mom, or something like that. Yeah. So they run up to Mom's room, and Freddy's he's still on fire at this point. Yeah,
because Dad douses him, puts him out with a blanket.
But Freddy's on top of Mom, strangling her, I guess, or I don't know.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
And then Dad takes the blanket and jumps on top and smothers the flames.
Nancy says no, because she doesn't want him to be saved.
Well, she said he's still under there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then John Saxon pulls the covers back, and it's just a burnt corpse of Mom, right? And she sinks into the mattress.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, it's a corpse, yeah.
Dad leaves the room. And
well, Nancy tells Dad to go downstairs, and I just wrote a big fat nope. I'm not staying there by myself in a room. She closed the door. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she knows.
So, of course, what happens?
She knows. Freddy comes up to the mattress, and Nancy says, I know you're there. I know you're there, Krueger, or whatever.
And she turns her back on him, which is when Johnny Depp and Nancy were on the bridge, they talked about can't remember what culture it was, where you take away the monster's power if you turn your back on it. So that's what she did.
Yeah. I didn't put that together at first, but now I get it.
Yeah, she turns her back and he loses all the energy that she was giving him.
Nancy says, I take back all the power I gave you.
Right.
And Freddy just kind of disappears in sparkly dust or something. he
lunges towards
energized.
her.
He's beamed somewhere.
He's been beamed up by Scotty. He lunges at her, but she just doesn't acknowledge his existence, kind of, and he disappears.
So then next morning, it's a beautiful day. Sun is shining. Everything's fine. Johnny Depp pulls up in his.
Oh, wait, Mom's going to stop drinking.
Yeah, she's going to start drinking.
There's some Froggy's Fog around.
Johnny Depp pulls up in his 1958 Cadillac Series 62 with Rod in the back and Tina. She's like, another day. Hey, we're going to school. All right, awesome. It's a great day to be alive. I don't know. So they get in the car, and then a red and green top comes up on the Cadillac. Red and green striped top, much like Freddy's sweater.
Yes.
And then the windows start rolling up, and they're locked in the car.
Yes. And they drive away.
Well, it drives away.
It drives away, right. They're like, we can't control it.
Yeah, because at one point, I know Johnny Depp says, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And then Nancy's mother is standing at the door as Nancy and all her friends are banging on the windows. And Nancy's mom is grabbed through the door and pulled into the little window.
Through a tiny, tiny window.
Yeah.
By
Freddy's
Freddy.
arm.
Yeah, you can see the sweater.
And then the end.
So again, is this a dream or is this...
Don't know.
Was it Nancy still dreaming? Well, have you seen the second one? Did they?
I think I skipped the second one.
Oh, I was just curious if it answered that.
I did see 3 and 4 and others.
I thought maybe it would answer that question.
Because she might. On the trivia X-ray thing, there was a thing about the original ending. That wasn't the original ending.
Oh, what was the original ending?
Here it is. The original ending of the script has Nancy comes out the door. It's an unusually cloudy and foggy day instead of sunny. A car pulls up with her dead friends in it, and she's startled. She goes out and gets in the car wondering what the hell is going on, and they drive off into the fog with the mother left standing on the doorstep, and that's it. So still very...
You would still think it was a dream.
Yeah. I would walk out of the theater saying, what the hell was that ending?
Yeah, I still would think that. I don't get it. Is Nancy dreaming? The mom could be dreaming. Why did he? I guess he's a child murderer. That's what he went after the children. I don't know.
Don't know.
You would think he would go after the adults that killed him.
So then the credits go. And I made a note that at the end, there's a special thanks to Sam Raimi.
Yeah, they said somewhere in there they were playing the Evil Dead movie. Was that when she was trying to fall asleep?
Is it?
I think,
I didn't catch it.
I think somewhere in there, somebody's watching the Evil Dead. And I think it's when she was trying to not to fall asleep. She was watching the horror movie.
Okay. That would make sense. Why they would give him special thanks. Him among other people, but I didn't recognize the other names.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know she was watching a horror movie. So, and when did the Evil Dead come out? We just did.
Wasn't that 81?
Yeah. So it would have been earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Evil Dead was in 1981.
I think they had some sort of thing where they played each other's movies in their movies. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it does. All right, Karen, anything you were pleasantly surprised by in this film? What did you enjoy? There must have been something you enjoyed other than Johnny Depp's
Johnny Depp is enough to
boyish face.
I thought the acting was better than I expected.
Yeah,
overall.
I've never been a real fan of Heather Langenkamp, even though, she's the star, kind of the last girl. But
I mean,
all in all, yeah, all the acting was good, I would say. Anything else you liked?
It was nice to see a young Johnny Depp. It must be hard as an actor to look back. I mean, when you get old and you see your young self in a movie. I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, you're like, damn. It's hard enough to look at old pictures of yourself, but then you're up there. you could be watching TV and you would have to come across an old movie. To grow up on film, I think would be hard, which
Yeah.
basically he did. Lots of child actors did, but to some people start more when they're adults, but when
I
you're a
don't think he
child,
was a child in this film.
it's like 18, probably. Oh, he might be older. I don't know. Still, that's pretty young.
He was born in 1963. So he's
Probably 20.
he's older than us. He's way older than us.
Mm.
So he would have been older than us in 1984.
Well, yeah, he would still be older than us in any year. That's the awesome thing about it.
Yeah, so he was 20 or something like that, right?
But still, I'm just saying,
19.
he got a little more handsome than that a couple years later.
What were you especially disappointed in?
I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to say. These aren't the kind of movies that I will say I'm glad I've seen it. It's something on your list that you should see, but I don't know. It seemed like a little gratuitous in the amount of blood that was everywhere. I don't like that kind of stuff. But you're right. It's not graphic though.
No.
But I mean, everyone's getting dragged everywhere. There's blood everywhere, So.
Right, but it's not, like you said, it's not blood and guts.
Well, it's all there, but you don't see it as much. It's a little more psychological because it's dreams. What about you on your third or fourth view?
Yeah, I agree. The acting was good. I'm trying to think if there's any one scene that I really liked.
Like I said, I liked the
I
fire.
liked Tina's death. That was a good scene.
Yeah, that was impressive and early.
Being thrown around the room. I mean, I know how they spun the room, but I don't know how they suspended her. It wasn't like, Plan 9 where I could see wires holding the paper plates up.
Yeah, I agree. I think there were some clever things in it. I think the convertible top at the end that was striped, clever. The hall pass person with the sweater on, clever. The fiery footprints going up the stairs, clever. There was some creativity, definitely.
Yeah,
but
it almost seemed like they were building a brand, right?
Well, yeah, if that's going to be your thing, you should give it a try.
But unfortunately, Wes Craven sold the rights, so he didn't make a lot off any of the sequels.
Well, that was a mistake.
If anything.
I'm sure his family was thrilled with that.
Yeah. See, is there anything I was disappointed in? Anything I didn't really like? I would have liked to see more of Freddy, probably. Even when we see him, we don't really see him.
It's true. Does he feature more prominently in the others?
Oh, yeah.
Do they give ever any backstory on him or anything? Or is he just murdering?
They do. Kind of, sort of, yeah. He's the bastard son of 1,000 maniacs or 100 maniacs.
I don't know what that means.
I don't want to ruin any of the sequels for you.
Okay. Then, or anyone listening. So if you all want to watch the sequels.
Apparently his mother was a nun.
No, I just wondered because they didn't really talk much about it in this one. I was disappointed in my ability to make this shot. It did not look like it was supposed to.
Mine just didn't catch on fire. It looked pretty good. Just didn't burn. So what did you think of your cocktail? Other than it tastes like fluoride.
I think it was the strawberry syrup mixed with the melon, Maybe that's because I was just at the dentist and I
was too. And she asked me, what did she ask me? Is mint okay for your polish? I was like, well, I don't know. Where are my choices? So apparently there was cinnamon, mint, bubble gum, and there was one other one.
Berry. Was it berry? Because that's what the fluoride that I got was berry. And I asked her if any adult picks bubble gum. She said no.
Well, I went ahead and took the mint because I think she already had it ready. But after I was thinking while she was doing it, I'm like, I probably would have enjoyed cinnamon. But
yeah. She said adults usually pick mint, and I usually do for my fluoride. But I was radical that day, and I went for berry, trying something new. And that's what it reminded me of.
So I don't think I've ever been given a choice. This is the first time.
The cleaner, I didn't have a choice, but the fluoride at the end, I did.
Yes. So other than it tastes like fluoride?
was okay.
It's okay.
I'm sure it's a showstopper if you set it on fire, but I don't associate with the type of people that I would want to be setting things on fire around.
Yeah.
Just, it's a safety concern for me.
So what cocktail rating are we going to give this film?
I don't know, probably a 3. You think? I might give it a 4, but that's not fair because I just don't. I'm doing a 1 drink because I don't like it already.
Mm-hmm. I like it better than you, but I'll go with 3. That's fair. That's average, right? Karen, is there anything we learned today?
Well, that they used way too much blood. But we learned all about the Cadillac.
Yeah, the 1958 Cadillac Series 62, which is worth $107,000 today. Sold new for about $7,000, probably.
On the high end. Yeah.
Anything else we learned?
That you had a mullet and a tail.
Yes. Yes, I did.
That Johnny Depp was a handsome kid.
Yeah, this was his first film.
I think that might be. Is there
He
anything
was about
else?
19. Tina was 15 when she was sexually assaulted by Rod.
Yeah, well, things would be different now. Times change. People learn. I can't think of anything else we learned.
It's revealed later in the series that Elm Street is in Ohio.
Yeah, I wonder why he picked Elm Street. You'd think you'd go with Main Street or something. We learned that he sold the rights. We learned that one of his early wives was in the movie.
Yes.
Learned a little bit of Hamlet.
The basis for the film was inspired by several newspaper articles printed in the Los Angeles Times in the 1970s about Hmong refugees who flee to the United States because of war and genocide in Laos, suffered disturbing nightmares and refused to sleep. Some of the men died in their sleep soon after.
Is that what Johnny Depp mentions on the bridge?
I don't think so, but medical authorities called the phenomenon Asian death syndrome.
That's a scary thing.
Wes Craven said it was a series of articles in the LA Times, 3 small articles about men from Southeast Asia who were from immigrant families and had died in the middle of nightmares. And the paper never correlated them, never said, hey, we've had another story like this. So it's from stuff he saw as a kid. Even Freddy Krueger is from someone he knew in his child. Saw an elderly man walking on the sidewalk outside the window of his home.
See, you never know. You could be the inspiration for someone's movie.
Yeah.
They look out the window and see you and you scare the shit out of them and you're in their movie.
Doesn't say anything about why he called it Elm Street, though. Oh, wait a minute. Other sources attribute the inspiration to be a 1968 student film project by Craven's students at Clarkson University. The student film parodied contemporary horror films and was filmed along Elm Street in Potsdam, New York.
Oh, so he was a teacher?
Suppose.
So he stole their idea. I'll do a Nightmare on Elm Street.
And yeah, I mean, the Gary Wright song Dreamweaver had something to do with it too.
It's a creative idea.
Yeah, so learned a little. I believe next week is your choice, is it not, Karen? Is it not?
Sort of is.
Well, either it is or it isn't.
It's heavily influenced.
It's another one of those?
Yes. And I don't even remember why. You're going to have to remind me. But the movie is Witchboard.
Yes. The next episode comes out August 4th. The late Tawny Kitane's birthday is August 5th. So that is why. And she stars in Witchboard.
See, I only know her from Whitesnake videos. So
she was on the cover of Rat Out of the Cellar first.
Well, yeah. Everybody knows that.
Well, she was dating Robin Crosby at the time. She did the cover for Rat Out of the Cellar. That's Tawny Kitane. She was in Rat videos too.
She's a beautiful woman, so.
I can't remember which video it is now, though. Damn.
Come on, Greg. Think.
Back for more. That's what it is.
I was going to say that because that was the only one I could remember. And then I got, well, maybe it was round and round.
No, it's back for more.
Dang, I should have said it.
So more on that next week.
Yay. Well, at least you're going to be
We'll do
drinking
a deep dive into Tawny Catane. Yeah, and do you have a cocktail for which board?
Yeah, we'll be drinking the Spirit Summoner.
Makes sense.
You're going to need simple apple martini mix, chilled, vodka chilled, and if you can get it, green edible glitter.
Can I just make an apple martini and add green glitter to it?
I think you probably can. We're going to start winging this a little more on our own, coming up with our own. So we can start doing that.
Yeah. All right. We need to thank anyone on your end?
No, I think we're good.
We don't have any errors or corrections, do we, from Plan 9?
Oh, I'm sure we do, but we didn't discuss them.
I can't think of any that I found out later.
I was right about.
No, definitely not. We do need to once again thank the band Verse 13 for letting us use their music in our podcast. Once again, their information is linked in the show notes.
Good stuff.
Anything else, Karen?
Well, just want to mention that if you want to find any of the recipes of any of the cocktails that we've used since episode 1, Greg does them all on YouTube for you, so you can see them live, sort of. And also visit the recipe den on the website, scaryspirits.com.
Yes.
And when you make those cocktails, please drink responsibly.
Yes.
If you like what you heard today, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Spirits Podcast. If you have questions or comments, email us at scaryspiritspodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website at scaryspirits.com. You can find us on YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast. And if you want to wear what all the cool kids are wearing, we have a merch link right on our website. Also, if you are looking for the recipes for our themed drinks, you'll find all of them in the recipe den on our website. And remember, if you really want to help us out, leave us a 5-star review. As always, thanks for listening.